Friends, it's T-Man and I'm back with another video. In this video, we're going to talk about Jason Blaha and his decrepit, whatever it is he's talking about here. We're going to react to him. Yes, the gym lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slave himself, gym slave, Jason Blaha. Excuse me. Oh, man. Anyways, these videos are funny, man. Every time I think about Jason Blaha, bro, I can't stop laughing, but whatever. Okay, Blaha says social programming and tradition has convinced us poison is food. The food you're eating is poisonous. What are you talking about?
We as a society have been culturally conditioned to see these things that we eat as food, and the reality is they are not food, they're garbage, right? They're essentially toxic garbage.
Everything that Blaha's eating is toxic garbage. He even destroys his food. He cooks it. He puts it in heat. He destroys it. That's why the lack of nutrients and eating these high carbohydrate diets. Man, I've said this in my videos before. It causes a lot of senescent cells. That's why you look so old. That's why they're upset about that Asian guy. They see him, he's like 57, looking like he's 22 years old, and they can't figure it out. Why he looking like that? Maybe because he doesn't eat any of these foods, right? That cause senescent cells. The more you spike insulin, the more senescent cells, the more of these carbohydrates you keep eating. You're going to get more and more. You're going to age. And then you're aging even more going to the gym lifting, bro. You're aging even more accelerated aging. It's crazy. That's what diseases, that's where all the diseases come out. When the more you get of these so-called zombie cells, these senescent cells, that's where they come from. Me personally, I told you before, I brought out a study on NCBI. Remember, satellite cell, use it or lose it. What does it tell you there? To mitigate what? Senescent cells and myogenic decline. That's the whole point in getting muscle damage. Forget about all this lifting heavy, showing off, wasting time. I'm talking about somebody who's already getting older. Maybe you're younger, you want to do that kind of weird stuff. But me, I'm an old person. I don't want to do that no more. I want to be young. I want to be functioning like a young person. I want to look young. And I want to get young girls. That's it, bro. I don't care about anything else, okay? But Blaha, he wants to get old and look fat and bald and look ugly. Who the hell wants to do that? Who's going to look at you? That's just crazy. Just because he lost a bunch of fat, he got skinny again. I don't see anybody interested in him. He's pretending, but he could pretend all he wants.
Which, lacking in true nutritional value, oftentimes poisonous and problematic for our body. And the reason that we think that they are...
Yeah, why are you eating fruits and vegetables and tofu? They're poisonous. Rice has arsenic. These seeds that you're eating, smashed seeds and everything. They're using these smashed seeds everywhere. On every bloody thing, your bread, everything. It's filled with arsenic. Christ.
Food is because we now have generations of people telling us their food. In other words, we have had...
Their cells will prevent amino acids from entering inside them. So never mind about a deficiency in nutrients. They will shut it off because they don't want to get glucose inside the cell. It'll destroy them. You get it? So they're blocking that. So you're not getting any amino acids in there. What are you doing here exactly? What is going on here?
Had multiple generations to where butter was added to everything, then margarine.
Yeah, okay, what's so bad about butter? It glucose? It got glucose in it, dude? No, it's not a carbohydrate. Christ, man, whatever.
But then because we found out margarine...
Saturated fat is what you want. A lot of saturated fat. You want animal fat and protein, meat, and nutrients. You want a super high nutrient diet. As high as you can get it to that pie in that sky, bro. Get it? Let me explain this. You want to be on a super high nutrient diet. So look for foods, raw foods, animal foods that are high in nutrients. And fucking go for it, bro. But if you want to go to the corner store and get a Coca-Cola and a pack of chips, go ahead. You know, anybody can do that. Get a bunch of tofu, weird stuff, rice, whatever. You know, some weird shit food there. Poisonous, toxic food. You know, arsenic and some cyanide with some oxalates on the side, right? And lectins.
It was even worse than butter when the margarine got outlawed. We went back to putting butter in our food because that
Yeah, because margarine is crap, bro. It's oil. It you know how long these so-called seed oils take to get out of your fucking system? More than 2 years.
That's what grandma used to do or great grandma used to do, and then we still think that it's okay when it caused problems. The same thing with all these refined
It never caused problems, butter. What are you talking about? If you cook since you're gonna cook it anyways, you're destroying your food anyways. You cook it in butter at least. Get it, dude? I didn't cut it. You fucking doing it in seed oils. My friend got cancer from that seed oil shit.
sugars, right? Refined sugar was
And
always
now he's dead.
the problem. We go back and when they started milling
Refined sugar. Yeah, they put sugar in everything. They put corn syrup in everything now. Corn, it's a filler, bro. And all these fake foods that they're making. Yeah, but Blaha eats that. He drinks coffee too. He's a very unnatural human being. Coffee is extremely toxic. It's so toxic, bro. It's crazy.
sugar.
It's golden hour. Time to pause and pour. It's my time. Or our time.
Right? Refined sugar milling, sugar cane over here, hundreds of years ago, right? There were studies that looked back and
I don't know where I was now. I think something happened here. Hold on a second.
found that even man, this was looked at a long time ago. The plantation owners had shorter lifespans than the people working in the fields. Okay? And you would think it would be the opposite because they were eating all the milled sugar and were sedentary. They were dying younger
Why were they dying younger, Blaha?
than their slaves were. My God. When you think about that, you're like these people who had these horrible.
Yeah, that's the whole thing here. The reason why you're going to a fitness club is because you eat carbohydrates and then you go burn it off. What? That is insane. Everybody's going to a gym because they eat carbohydrates and want to burn it off. Let me tell you something. When you're on your natural diet as a carnivore meat, you don't want to go to no gyms anymore, bro. Get it? I don't want to do any exercise anymore. And here's the thing. It's even hard for me to go into a gym to get a fucking adaptation. I have to push myself. I have to get into like a mode, a schedule to try and do that now every so often. Because I don't want to go to the gym anymore. Because I know what it's like to be normal. Get it? You're all abnormal out there. Christ.
Horrific condition.
This guy is abnormal. If anybody saw him in the past lifting these crazy weights in the garage, they think he was brain dead.
And horrible lives were still outliving them purely because they weren't eating the junk. They weren't eating the same junk. My God. That should tell you everything that you need to know about just normal table sugar. But look how we've gotten to a point. We're at a point where as a society, so let's look at that. Table sugar wasn't a thing hundreds of years ago. It's a very much a more modern invention, not saying through our chemical technology, but it's really only something we started using, a couple hundred years ago. Right? It became the norm. It reduced lifespan. It caused problems. It
Man, I don't know where he's getting this stuff from, but whatever.
caused problems. We know that it did. It's documented. Then we have high fructose corn syrup came out because it turned out to be slightly cheaper to make, slightly sweeter.
Yeah, these things kill you. They're man-made. They're processed. Yes, they're in high dosages. Yes, but you're not supposed to eat them at all. That's the thing. They're drugs. All plants are drugs, and all drugs are made from plants. How do you think this society was built? It was built off all this stuff. First, you eat the slave food, then you rot your teeth, then you need a dentist, then you need a school for dental school, and then the dentist, he needs an office, then he needs a car to get to the office, a house to live in, right, and all this kind of stuff, and then he needs money, You get it? It starts a whole industry.
Government subsidized corn, made it cheaper to produce. Now we have that. And then the issue we have there, this is how ridiculous tradition goes. As soon as we get some data showing it's a hair worse,
And people are eating corn, so they make this corn syrup from that corn. Boy, you're also eating that corn, sweet corn, yeah.
practically it isn't. By the way,
It's garbage. It's all garbage food for humans.
from a pragmatic perspective, it's not, but on paper, it is worse than table sugar.
Whatever.
Again, by such a small margin, and then you factor in how much you're consuming versus the sweetness, it may not actually be any worse. They're both equally bad, really, but slightly worse.
You don't say. No, really? You don't say.
But then we have people saying, oh, I'm going to avoid that. But then how many people eat it? Because it's their normal. Because we have generations of people going and drinking regular soda, or whatever you call it, depending on where you live. Right? Chock full of high fructose corn syrup. Everything's sweetened with it. It's in everything. It's our normal. People like it's just part of food. It just helps make food sweet.
Oh, yeah.
It's a poison, really. Again, refined fructose is poisonous to your liver. It causes all sorts of problems when
No kidding. We already know that.
consumed in any degree of excess.
Haven't you had enough of these global betting?
It causes.
And who feeds it to the masses, the public? McDonald's, man. They use the fructose. It's in your the pop industry. They're all using fucking corn syrup, fructose. Yes, fructose gives you brain damage. It destroys your DNA, senescent cells, a whole bunch of shit, bro. It's in NCBI PubMed.
All sorts of problems when consumed in any degree of excess. Right? And I've done detailed videos on why. On fructose metabolism, why it's different than when you eat it.
Even if you eat fruits, they're packed with fructose. So Blaha likes to eat fruit. They're packed with fructose. They destroy you as a human. Why do you think the Bible said they ate the forbidden fruit? They ate the apple from the tree. It destroyed them. They left the Garden of Eden, and now they live in a synthetic world called cities, and they're fucked.
In fruit. I've gone through extreme
They can't get off the drugs, eating these drugs.
detail of that. So you take that fact, but people just consume it. It's their norm.
Yeah, because society has made it the norm. I told you, this society cannot exist on a natural diet. It exists on the slave diet. That's how they're able to, they live off of your suffering. What's the need of money if there's no school and no dentists and no doctors, if you don't need any of these things? Oh, we need soap as well to wash ourselves. Why do you need soap? Nobody washed themselves before. Why do you need toothpaste? Nobody ever brushed their teeth before, and toothbrushes and all this kind of weird stuff. You know what I mean? All these things they're making, all these crazy things they're doing, bro. It's ridiculous.
It's their norm, so they just accept that this garbage is acceptable to put into their body every day.
But doing this, throwing weights up and down a garage is acceptable. Oh, okay.
All right. Where it gets ridiculous, some
Every single day.
people have realized that, and then you have a big section of the population who go, yeah, I know that stuff's bad. I avoid it, so I eat real sugar. Okay?
That's just as bad.
Think about that. They fall back to still a multi-generational tradition, and they go, well, so instead of eating this slightly worse poison that we know is bad, I'm going to go back to eating the crap that killed my grandparents, or my great-grandparents, or my great-great-great-grandparents. Let's just eat the crap that killed them that's only 95% as bad. We still fall back into that paradigm of, well, good enough for my grandpappy who had diabetes, good enough for me. And then we eat this garbage and we think of it as food. Now, these are ones that are made out of food, right? And that's where it's a problem, because people say, well, it's just, milled, it's burned and then milled sugar cane, okay? It's a plant. They do the same thing with butter. It's the cream skimmed off the top that loses all the nutrients, all the protein, all the magnesium, all the calcium. And we just churn it a little, which emulsifies it and processes it, changes the molecular structure of the fat, okay? But it's just because it's made from milk, it's still okay. At least I'm not eating all this really bad chemical garbage, but you're still eating an extremely
Milk, the milk that you're buying is fucking pasteurized, dude.
heavily refined garbage.
You're eating synthetic milk. Blaha's eating, I know. He's drinking ultra filtered milk. Synthetic milk. Wow. Huh. Okay, Blaha. Look at how Blaha looks. This is what you're all gonna look like at 47, 85, senescent cells all over the place.
In both cases, they just happen to have been made from real foods, because milk is a real food. I mean, sugar cane's a plant. Milk is a whole food, right? With quite a few health benefits. So since it's made from it, it's okay. But it's really not. It's a tradition that's told you that it is, because it's what killed your great-grandparents. So you're just going to eat that instead of the junk that's killing everyone today. Like, this.
My grandparents fucking died off because they got tired of living to over 100 on a farm. They want to keep doing that job forever. And they got tired. And they drank alcohol. They smoked cigarettes. They did a bunch of stuff that wasn't natural. They partook in eating candies and weird stuff and other shit too. Why not? They're human. They're gonna do what everybody else is doing. See what I mean?
It's a problem. But do you guys see how this problem continues? So even when people realize the new generation is oblivious to the garbage they're eating, that's even worse.
Here's the thing: your body replaces all the parts in your body within what? I think it's every decade. Your body will be replaced. During that period of time, you should eat a very high nutrient diet and stay away from any sugar or carbohydrates. So when your body does renew itself, right, it'll be younger. But in this case, when it renews itself, it's going to renew itself on garbage food, and it's going to look older with every decade. That's why Blaha looks 85 at 47. Get it, broski? Going on 86.
Become a tradition that we classify as food, we'll go back to eating the other stuff. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to we shouldn't be eating all this garbage. We shouldn't be eating refined fats. We shouldn't be eating refined sugar. These aren't.
You should be eating a lot of animal fat. Yeah. And meat. Raw, if possible, if you can. And organs. A lot of animal organs that are high in nutrients, like beef liver. You know, bone broths are amazing. Why? Because they're the glue that holds your body together. So you want to make a lot of bone broth soups. Consume them. They're really good for you. They fill you up. They're really, really, really good. It's not expensive. It's cheap. It's really good for you.
Food, we definitely shouldn't be consuming alcohol. Literally a poison.
Alcohol is poison. You're just poisoning yourself.
Kills the crap out of us.
Then you act silly.
It's deadly.
It is deadly.
It's an addictive poison. It's why you get drunk from
I'm going to have to agree with Blaha. Put to bed. Alcohol is poison.
it. It literally is poisoning your brain. That is biologically what's happening. Okay? But culturally, we've been told for generations.
I love this face. He's a fitness slave, bro.
These things are fit for human consumption, that they're food. They've become a cultural, social programming. Okay? And we have to undo this programming. We have to step back and say, no, this is not food. And we have to quit teaching children that it's food, because that is where the problem starts. When children are taught that these things are food, the next generation is screwed.
You know how you create this look without doing all this exercise? Eat your natural diet as a carnivore. Meat. And you'll get this look, bro, really quick. Yeah. Walk around, eat meat. and you'll get this look. Yeah. Eat a very high nutrient diet. The higher the nutrient diet, the more this fat goes right off, melts off your body. Yeah, that's what happens.
Every time, and that is when
It sees you as you're not in a famine.
this happened. We have to break the cycle. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.
Well, Blaha is really working hard there. Jesus, poor guy. Accelerated aging. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.